A wooden cart might look like the simplest machine ever created. Just 4 wheels, a wooden frame, and the ability to carry loads. Yet in the Middle Ages, building such a cart and keeping it on the road was one of the most difficult struggles ordinary people endured. Fragile wheels, broken axles, roads that dissolved into endless mud, and the crushing expense of repairs turned every journey into a gamble. Something we take for granted today was, in its time, a marvel of persistence and survival. For people of that world, carts and wagons were not simply vehicles. They were lifelines. A single cart could transport what dozens of men might carry painfully on their backs. Harvested grain, timber from the forests, stone for the rising walls of castles, barrels of ale from local brewers. All these relied on wooden carts creaking along uncertain paths. Without carts, entire villages could find themselves cut off. Farmers without access to them were forced to sell only within walking distance, while builders were unable to move the heavy blocks required for bridges, churches, or fortifications. Even the great trade fairs that became the beating heart of medieval commerce depended on wagons loaded with wool, salt, or spices. Remove the cart and much of that economy would collapse. But these wagons were not common property. For the peasantry, a cart was rarer than a horse. To own one was to gain access to larger markets and opportunities that could mean the difference between survival and ruin. To lack one was to remain locked within the narrow circle of your village. Thus, carts became more than practical tools. They were wooden engines of livelihood, silent skeletons that supported not just goods, but ambition itself. And yet, they were fragile things, demanding care and constant maintenance far beyond what most people could afford. At first glance, the medieval wheel appears crude, but in truth, it was one of the most sophisticated feats of craftsmanship available at the time. A wheel had to endure immense pressure, carrying heavy cargo over rutted tracks, up steep slopes, and through unyielding mud. To make this possible, carpenters built them in multiple parts. At the centre sat the hub, carved from a solid block of wood, gripping the axle with strength. Radiating outward were the spokes, carefully shaped so each would share the strain equally, much like ribs in a skeleton. Around them, the curved wooden segments known as felloes formed the rim. The final step was the iron tire. Blacksmiths heated a strip of iron until it glowed red, then hammered it over the wooden rim. As the metal cooled, it contracted, squeezing the entire wheel into a single unit. A single error in measurement meant disaster. The wheel might crack or worse. The iron band could slip off mid-journey. This delicate blend of wood and iron was so complex that it gave rise to specialized trades. To build a wheel was to find balance between strength and fragility. Too heavy and the oxen would tire quickly. Too light and it would shatter under the first stone. Each wheel was, in its own way, a monument to patience and skill. The choice of material mattered just as much as the design. Not every tree could become part of a wheel. Carpenters knew that the wrong wood would lead to certain failure. Oak, hard and sturdy, was often chosen for rims. Ash, flexible and resilient, made excellent spokes that could bend slightly without breaking. Elm, with its twisting grain, was often chosen for hubs because it resisted splitting under the heavy strain of an axle. Each piece of the wheel required its own kind of wood, and each decision reflected centuries of inherited knowledge. Even then, nature was fickle. Wood was never uniform. A tree growing on rocky soil produced a harder grain than one nurtured in soft valleys. Timber had to be seasoned, cut and left to dry, sometimes for years, before use. Freshly cut wood might warp as it dried, loosening the iron tire or pulling the wheel apart. If a hub split, the entire structure failed. And even when everything was built perfectly, time and travel wore wheels down quickly. Constant jolts cracked spokes. Rain soaked the rim until it swelled, only for sun to dry it out and shrink it again. Expansion and contraction became the tireless enemies of carts. Poor peasants could not afford constant repairs, and so patched wheels with crude wedges of wood, stopgap measures that rarely lasted. The cart was thus not just a victim of poor roads, but of the very nature of its material. If the wheels were the legs of a cart, the axle was its spine, and it bore the worst punishment. Typically made of solid wood, it was wedged tightly through the hubs of the wheels. Every turn meant friction, wood grinding against wood. Without lubrication, the axle could heat, smoke, and eventually snap. To fight this, people used whatever they had at hand: animal fat, lard, tallow, even pine resin. The smell of grease was a familiar companion to anyone near a wagon, yet grease wore away quickly. After each long journey, the axle had to be checked, cleaned, and reapplied with oil or fat. Forgetting this simple act meant catastrophe. A broken axle far from home left a cart stranded, its load abandoned, its owners forced to beg for help or lose everything. In truth, carts were not machines that could be built and forgotten. They demanded attention every mile. Merchants travelled with spare grease and makeshift tools, aware that their fortunes depended on reducing friction. And then there were the roads themselves. Medieval carts rarely touched smooth surfaces. Most routes were nothing more than dirt tracks carved deeper by endless feet and hooves. In summer, they hardened into brutal ruts that jolted carts violently. In winter, rains transformed them into sucking rivers of mud, swallowing wheels until even the strongest animals could scarcely move forward. Stones hidden beneath the soil cracked rims. Steep hills forced animals to strain against harnesses until leather straps snapped. Bridges, where they existed, were often mere wooden planks stretched over streams, trembling under every passing load. A single slip, and the wheel might plunge into water, toppling cargo and cart alike. Villages occasionally worked together to repair these paths, but without stone paving, the effort never lasted. Only wealthy regions afforded cobblestones or gravel roads, and even these wore down quickly under constant pressure. For merchants, poor roads were more than the inconvenience. They were danger itself. Grain spoiled if delayed too long. Wool, if soaked in rain, lost its value. Ale soured in transit. Every journey was a gamble against the road. Owning a cart was never a simple matter of wooden wheels. To build one required the combined skill of several trades. The carpenter shaped the wooden frame, carefully measuring each beam. The wheelwright, a specialized craftsman, assembled wheels with exacting precision. The blacksmith forged the iron tires, nails, and fittings that held everything together. Each trade charged for their labor and materials, making even the simplest wagon a costly investment. For the average peasant, the price was staggering. Most families could not afford one outright. Instead, they borrowed or rented from wealthier neighbors. A broken wheel was not just an inconvenience, it could bring financial ruin. The price of replacing an iron band or rebuilding a hub might equal months of hard work in the fields. Because of this, carts were valued as highly as a livestock, sometimes more. In medieval records, carts appear in wills and inventories, passed down from parent to child like treasured heirlooms. To own one was to have a chance at survival beyond the narrow limits of subsistence. To lose one was to sink deeper into poverty. In the medieval world, fragility and necessity walked side by side. A cart was never just an object. It was opportunity, hope, and sometimes despair. The risks were constant. Every journey carried the threat of failure. A cracked wheel on a steep descent could overturn a cart, sending grain, stone, or timber tumbling dangerously. Animals or people could be crushed beneath the load. Chroniclers even described accidents where wagons tipped into rivers or collapsed on narrow bridges, their cargo lost, their drivers drowned. For merchants, such disasters meant financial ruin. For peasants, they could mean starvation if the harvest spoiled before reaching a market. Some families simply avoided winter travel altogether, too fearful of mud, ice, and the treacherous paths. Unlike today, there was no roadside assistance, no quick repairs. If your cart failed, you depended on neighbours, strangers, or sheer luck. Sometimes cargo was salvaged by carrying it piece by piece on people's backs. Other times, it was abandoned entirely. Each trip was a wager against fate, and many paid dearly for the gamble. Yet carts carried more than burdens of grain and stone. They carried meaning. A peasant's rough wagon, patched with crooked planks, squealing at every turn, spoke of poverty and necessity. In contrast, the carts of wealthy merchants and nobles became symbols of prosperity. Their wagons were reinforced with iron, built larger, drawn by teams of horses rather than plodding oxen. Some were even decorated, carved with designs or painted brightly. They travelled faster, carried more, and announced wealth as loudly as coins could. In towns and markets, a man's cart spoke for him. Merchants arriving with sturdy wagons signalled stability and success, attracting buyers and partners. Poorer farmers who rented or borrowed revealed dependence and vulnerability. And at the top of this spectrum, lords and monarchs turned carts into carriages, rolling thrones that displayed their grandeur for all to see. In the creak of wood and the rhythm of wheels, one could hear the hierarchy of society itself. We often imagine the Middle Ages through the grand images of castles, knights, or epic battles. But just as central to that world were the humble carts endlessly rattling along muddy tracks. They embodied the ingenuity of craftsmen who shaped wood and iron into fragile circles. They revealed the patience of peasants who saved for years to afford one. They showed the resilience of animals straining against their harnesses. Each wheel told a story of resistance against friction, against mud, against the endless march of time. And though many broke, many endured. They carried their loads to markets, sustained cities, and connected distant villages. Today we travel in machines that seem impossibly advanced compared to those fragile wagons. Trucks, cars, buses, all glide over asphalt highways cushioned by suspension systems, rolling on pneumatic tyres, driven by steel axles and engines. Yet the principles remain remarkably similar. The medieval cart suffered from friction, wear, and weight, just as the modern automobile suffers without oil changes or when tyres wear down. Where medieval blacksmiths hammered glowing iron onto wheels, modern factories mould rubber with precision. Where peasants smeared lard onto wooden axles, mechanics apply synthetic lubricants engineered to withstand heat and pressure. The problem has not changed. The solution has merely evolved. How do you keep a machine in motion against the relentless resistance of the world? The burden of maintenance connects us across centuries. Just as a medieval farmer inspected his cart after every muddy trip, we inspect our cars after every long drive. The fear of a broken axle has become the dread of a flat tyre. The consequences remain the same. A breakdown halts travel, delays trade, and threatens livelihood. History whispers that progress is not about eliminating problems, but about creating better tools to face them. And in that way, the medieval cart is not a relic, but a mirror. These vehicles were never merely wooden frames. They were bridges between survival and collapse. They bore the weight of dreams as much as stone or grain. Looking back, the creaking wheels remind us that history is not only written by kings and their wars, but also by the ordinary objects that supported the lives of millions. Fragile, squealing, often broken, yet always repaired and sent onward, medieval carts shaped the very rhythm of society. They remind us that even the simplest things, the hum of a wheel, the smell of grease, the ache of animals pulling forward, are what truly built civilization.